Okay, my loves. I know there are a lot of you that are out there that are really wondering, how do I even set boundaries anymore? Maybe you didn't grow up with great boundaries. Maybe boundaries weren't really modeled well for you, or maybe you were told that you cannot have boundaries. Maybe you're tired of being gaslighted in your relationships, and you're tired of feeling crazy all the time and guilty for trying to make a difference in your life. If this is you, then I want you to come schedule a call with me. Let's chat about the Unashamed Image Program. The Unashamed Image Program is geared towards you specifically. I am going to be helping you in our next upcoming session of the Unashamed Image. I am personally going to train you how to not feel crazy when someone is gaslighting you, how to be able to stand your ground, to keep your boundaries intact, and to also see through the bull crap. I am also going to be teaching you how to set really confident boundaries that you can really rely on. And I'm going to help you communicate them in a way that really makes sense. Basically, I'm going to help you live a life free of shame and on your terms. If you are ready and you are done feeling all the shame and guilt for trying to set boundaries, if you are not willing to live another moment the way you are right now and in somebody else's shadow, then this is the time to schedule that call with me. It's completely free, no pressure, just love, just support. Go to www.erinandersonthetraumacoach.com. Scroll down the page to where it says, Let's Chat About Working Together. Click on that button and it'll take you to my booking page. If you're ready to live the unashamed life, schedule that call. Let's get you in the Unashamed Image Program, my loves. From my heart to your heart. Bye. Welcome to the other side of the struggle. This is a podcast where we talk about trauma, how to heal it, and then how to take it and use it to unlock your mission and your potential, and to use it to live your very best dream life. When you're dealing with betrayal trauma, it can be hard to know how to heal it, how to stop the pain, and to know what your next steps are to take in your own life. And these are the questions that we try to answer here. Trauma has the ability to rob us of our joy and identity, which is why it's so miserable to experience. But with the right tools and with the right mindset, we can totally reclaim that joy and even use this trauma to strengthen ourselves, so that way trauma does not knock us off of our joy again. Living your dream life should be a non-negotiable, but trauma tends to try to negotiate that with you. And even though trauma is not something that we will completely ever be free of in our life, the pain is negotiable. This is why I created Erin Anderson Betrayal Trauma Coaching and this podcast, is because I want my listeners, I want my clients to live, truly live free from the prison that trauma can put you in. I want you to live on the other side of the struggle. Okay, I want you to stop what you're doing right now for just a minute, and I really want you to hear me out. I want you to go right now to erinanderson.cartra.com/page/heart of gold. There you are going to find a free meditation just for you from me. This meditation is amazing. Let me tell you a little bit about what it's going to give you. Okay? Number one, it's going to help boost your confidence. If you are dealing with trauma, then you are most likely dealing with a confidence issue as well. And it's something that you are really, really wanting back. Number two, it is going to help you find security in your situations in your life, because it's going to help you gain a sense of self-love and some self-trust. The third thing this is going to give you is an ability to escape the trauma that you're experiencing right now, this very minute, and help you find peace and joy and love and a deep appreciation for you and your experiences. This is going to really help you reconnect with yourself. So that is very, very, very important when you are dealing with healing from trauma. So again, I'm going to tell you what that website is that you need to go to. erinanderson.kartra, KARTRA.com/page/heart of gold. Capital HEARTOF, capital GOLD. Go check out this meditation. Please claim it for yourself, because it is 100% a gift from me to you to help you heal right now from trauma. All my love. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Other Side of the Struggle. We are speaking about affirmations versus truth today, and this is a topic that I get a lot of questions about often, actually. A lot of people out there right now that are trying to heal from trauma, one of the pieces of advice that they get a lot is go and give yourself affirmations, write them everywhere, on your computer, on your bathroom mirror. First thing you wake up to in the morning should be an affirmation. And, well, I believe that the intention behind affirmations is good. I don't love the idea of affirmations. I think that there's a lot of flaws to it, actually. The idea of truth, however, is solid. Now, what do I mean by that? That's a really good question. And I do believe that we need to tell ourselves things, because we're literally in an onslaught of attacks by influences that want to see us fail. Now, I personally believe in God, and I'm going to get into that deeper today, and why I believe in God, and why I honestly think that's the safest route possible. But some of you might not. We might have a chance to get into how to, like how to anchor yourself if you don't believe in God. It's a bit more tricky. I do, however, believe that God is very real, very tangible, is very much with us. And for that purpose, I also believe that there's an adversary. And I also believe that there are many adversaries, just as there are many angels trying to support us. There's many adversaries trying to take us down. So,
This is also the reason why I don't love affirmations. So let's get into this. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. Let's talk about affirmations for a minute, okay? And why they're encouraged. Again, the intention behind these. It's to give yourself more positive thinking, hear your voice, and there is science behind that. Hearing your voice say something out loud over and over and over does mean that it gives you something to pay attention to. So it's not like all parts of affirmation are bogus, but I just feel like there's something better. But saying things out loud that are positive, that is a big thing. Because psychologically, your brain is trying to pay attention to your voice. It is the voice that it hears the most. And so when you say positive things out loud, the idea behind this is that you'll start paying attention to more positive things. You'll start believing more positive things, and therefore having a more positive life, more positive beliefs, more positive experiences. But I have yet to witness someone who's really, really had a good experience with this. And this is the reason why. Is because there's always that little voice in the back of your head that whispers to you, this is not true. You're worthless. What's wrong with you? You're a big fat jerk. And the list goes on. You don't deserve this. Don't you know this? You're an idiot for thinking this. Like, that's what that voice was telling me every time I tried to do an affirmation, and they didn't stick. It was the minute I tried to plant it, it was ripped out and thrown away. My positivity garden was way too overrun with negative weeds. And that voice made certain there was no room for affirmations. Another thing, too, about affirmations is a lot of the time when I'm working with clients, I hear, like, when somebody compliments them or they do say something good, the first reaction that person has is to, oh, no, that's not me. I appreciate the compliment, but, and compliments make them really super uncomfortable. They think that they deserve really harsh language. They're more actually accepting of that. And then now you add your own self into this, trying to wrestle yourself into believing positive thoughts, when you still got that mean little bugger in the back of your mind that's not going to respond well to you. That bugger is not going to be quiet. So you've got all that going on. It's more likely that you're going to believe something harsh and unkind. And the reason why is because positivity is more foreign than the lie, the cruelty, the meanness, and that's what feels the most familiar. There's a reason these guys, these adversaries, are called familiar spirits. It's because they truly do feel familiar to you. They truly do feel like they're telling you the truth. But they're not. And so affirmations don't address this. There's absolutely nothing to anchor an affirmation into. And while I'm all for positive thinking, and I'm all for believing the very best thoughts possible, if you don't have anything to anchor these thoughts into, affirmations are seriously just going to poof, goodbye. There has to be something else that's going to plant these affirmations, these good positive thoughts and feelings and words into your mind. And when the emotion to the thought do not match, when the emotions and the thoughts don't match, they don't stick. There's nothing to anchor them into. So if you're sitting there feeling all of these positive thoughts, but feeling all of these negative emotions, it creates confusion. Confusion is something that we tend to stay away from. We don't like discomfort. So affirmations also don't stick that way. They make you feel uncomfortable and confused because you've got two different messages happening. So the idea is we need to center yourself around one main message that anchors in. It's going to dig deep, it's going to get some roots, and it's going to drive you. Affirmations don't do that. Truth, on the other hand, does. So what's true? How do we know what's true? Well, there has to be something anchored there. Okay, so for example, everyone has something that they believe is true. Oftentimes, people believe really, really horrible things as truth, like they are the worst human on the planet. I hear that one too. But that's not the truth that we're looking for. And I would even go so far as to say that's not true because it doesn't bring you any joy. Joy is something that is also directly linked to truth. Now, I've had people that I talk to that are really struggling with the concept of a God, and I honor that. I get that. But here's the reason why I believe. I need something personally that connects me to love. My belief of God is that yes, He's all-knowing. He's all-powerful. He is this fabulous, beautiful creator that's created this world and worlds without end for His children. He is love. A glorious, glorious, all-knowing, all-powerful, fabulous, fatherly being that is just perfect love. And I believe He knows way more about me, and I also believe that He created me. That's an anchor. That is something that will anchor you into truth. So, what if you don't believe in God? Well, my question for you then is, what do you believe in? Do you believe that you're the most powerful thing out there. Maybe you think Elon Musk is more powerful than you, but I don't think Elon Musk is aware of every human walking around this planet in a skin suit. I know for a fact he's not aware of me, but God is. What about a tree? Maybe you believe that nature is more wise and knowing than what you are. And I will definitely say that I know for a fact that being out in nature definitely improves my wisdom and my stability, and it does feel like an anchoring. So if you are finding a hard time believing in a God, then may I suggest you really take a deep dive into something that brings you joy, that knows more than what you do, and is a place that envelops you and centers you around love. This is why I believe in God. Not only have I actually had very personal experiences with Him, so it's not just a belief, it's a know. I know God exists without a shadow of a doubt. But some people really struggle with that concept, and they think that God is kind of like that Santa Claus theory. And I don't share that belief at all. I know that a God does exist and that He is perfect, loving, and knowing. But I'm not here to convince anyone to believe something different. To me, it's a lot easier to believe in a God, and it makes way more sense to believe in a God. But if nature is your go-to, or whatever it is that knows more than what you do, loves you completely and utterly perfect, you feel like you could possibly be created from this space, that is what I want you to anchor yourself into right now. And the very next question I'm going to ask is, what does this all-powerful, all-knowing, completely safe space think about you? To me, that's God. He is my safe space. He is my perfection. He knows more about me than I know about myself. He understands things about me that I could never have understood without Him. He's taught me who I am, what my mission and purpose here is in this life, and I will never be able to deny that. Not that I don't want to deny it. See, I don't have to give myself affirmations anymore, or even try to give myself affirmations, because I see myself the way God sees me. It's truth. It's 110% truth. So let's get into this. The words might sound the same, but how they connect and how they stick is different. See, if I'm going to just sit there and rely on myself and my brain to say, "You're a fantastic human, Aaron. You are loved. People do want you around." Ooh, shoot. That doesn't feel true. None of that feels true. Oh, this is uncomfortable. That's what it was like before.
So, how do you feel about boundaries? It's a legitimate question. A lot of people come to me really struggling with this concept. They often feel guilty for setting boundaries, or they're not sure about even what a boundary is. They've heard the term, set the boundary, things like that, but that's really confusing for them because it's not something that's well taught in our society nowadays, right? They know that boundaries are really important to having healthy, constructive, supportive, and wonderful relationships, but why? And oftentimes they also know that they feel like their boundaries are being violated, but they can't quite pinpoint what the boundary is that's being violated. That's why I've created the Clarifying and Creating Your Boundaries free PDF. You can find out what your boundaries are, how to tune in to what the boundary needs to be, and how to effectively create and communicate your boundary so that way you stay in this place that respects you, respects the other person, but also gives you the confidence in your boundaries so that way you stop being gaslighted, disrespected, and unseen. Having your boundaries really clear gives you a voice and also helps the other person stay in accountability with themselves. So that's not a role that you have to take on anymore. So if you are ready to really have clear boundaries, to really understand what your role is in the boundary, and to give yourself some safety and some protection against people that might try to gaslight you or are just being disrespectful, go grab my Creating and Clarifying Your Boundary PDF at erinandersonthetraumacoach.com. And while you're there, let's schedule a call with me. Come have a chat with me so that way I can really, really help you master this particular skill, creating boundaries, clarifying the boundary, communicating that boundary, and so that way I can also help you have relationships that show up to support you, cherish you, and love you.
But now I ask myself, what does God think? I don't care what this little voice in the back of my head is telling me. I'm going to doubt that. Because that voice is not bringing me good feelings. It's literally knocking the wind out of my sails. Everything it says hurts. So I'm going to doubt it. What does God think? And what does God want me to know? Do I trust that He'll tell me the truth? I've been told my whole life that He's a God of truth, that He's my creator, that I am His child, and that He loves me beyond any love that I could possibly fathom. Now, I'm a mom of 6 kids, so that's hard for me to imagine a love that is even more intense and pure than the love I feel for my kiddos. But I'm going to trust this. I'm going to trust what I've been told there about who God is. The next thing I'm going to trust is the idea of aligning myself with Him. Now, if I'm going to get on the same page as God, that means that I have to think similar, not exactly, because I will be honest, God is a much bigger concept than my little mortal brain can handle. But aligning myself with Him means aligning myself with what it is He wants me to know. And that I need to trust these facts that He is a safe space, that He does love me, that He did create me, and He knows why. That last one is an anchor right there. I don't know about you, but not asking why did God create me, but instead saying He knows why He created me. And God doesn't create mistakes. He doesn't make mistakes. So if I am His creation, and I'm not only His creation, but I am His crowning achievement, then it would make sense for me to see myself the way He sees me. And all of a sudden, it's no longer an affirmation. It's truth. The words may sound the same, but the voice of truth, the voice of God, your Creator, is far more powerful than that stinking voice that is in the back of your mind trying to get you to believe crap that isn't true just so you stay down, just so it has nothing to fear from you. God's voice is far more powerful. And even when the Lord has chastised me, which has happened many times, that chastisement doesn't feel harsh. It doesn't make me feel hopeless. It doesn't knock the wind out of my sails. In fact, it does the opposite. It brings me more joy. It brings me more peace. It brings me more truth. And therefore, it enlightens me and it excites me and it's fabulous and it's glorifying and it's wonderful and exciting. And I love it when He chastises me. And this is my source of energy. I used to be someone who was riddled with anxiety, someone who felt very depressed, like there was no hope. What was the point of life if life was just this terrible and people were awful and the love was just that Santa Claus thing? It didn't exist. Remember those untruths? Those 10 untruths from last week? I believed those, every single one of them. Hence the reason I know them so well. But I believed them, and it didn't bring me a joy-filled life. It zapped my energy. There were many days I just couldn't get out of bed. That's not my struggle anymore. And I'm so grateful. But it starts with this, aligning yourself with truth. Because truth is an anchor. And that anchor will take root. And if you're having trouble with faith right now, having faith that there is something out there that loves you entirely, so much so that it wants you here on this earth, that it gave you a life Even if that life at this current moment sucks. And I use that word intentionally because my life was sucking me dry. It sucked. It really, really did. It was not a return on my investment. It was sucking me dry. So if your life sucks right now, I invite you to find some measure of truth and align yourself with something that does love you. And if you can't see anything on this planet that does, then it's about high time that you give God a chance. It's a lot better and easier to believe you are a fantastic human if that is exactly what your Creator thinks. So, the more you get to know God, the more you start to understand His characteristics. I believe that He loves me so much that He wants to hear not only my successes, but my joys, my pains, my happiness, my sorrows. He wants to hear it all. And so what I did is I envisioned, like, if I love nature. I envisioned this cabin out in the woods as this cool little rustic cabin. It wasn't anything fancy or giant or glorious, and I think the reason why this little rustic cabin was the first thing that came to my mind is because I truly don't believe I'm anything super fancy. Not saying I don't like fancy places. I definitely do, but me, like, currently, right now, the idea of me living in a giant, fabulous, gorgeous castle or mansion is a lot like a cat envisioning their life in a bathtub full of water. I wouldn't freak out necessarily, but it would be a bit of a stretch. And so a rustic cabin was a perfect place for me because the minute I walked through the woods and into that clearing, I could see the Savior. He saw me. Giant smile broke out over his face. He ran to meet me, scooping me up in his arms, twirling me around. Little sister, I'm so glad you're here. I've been dying to see you. Where have you been? What's been taking you so long? And he throws his arm around me and he says, Mom and Dad are in the cabin. They have been so excited to see you. Come, let's talk with them. And I walk in the cabin, and the first thing I smell is the most delicious foods being baked by my beautiful mother. She's got this beautiful brown hair, tall and slender, and she's so gorgeous. She sees me and she wraps her arms around me and she says, I just barely put the bread in the oven. We are going to have a feast. We have been so excited that you're coming. But I know how much you love having your hair brushed. the bread can wait for a little bit. I want you to sit down here and I'm going to brush your hair. And as she sits there and she brushes my hair, she sits there and she just fills me with love. Oh my goodness. Every strand is so beautiful. I'm so lucky to have such a beautiful daughter. Do you know that when you did XYZ, it just filled me with so much joy? Her job is to fill me with nutrition in every single way. She nourishes my soul. And then I hear this big booming voice. Is that my Erin? Come on in here. And my Savior and my Heavenly Mother, they give me the biggest smile, and I hop up from my chair and I go in to meet my Father. And he's got this big chair sitting in front of the fire, this warm, roaring fire. And across from his chair is a chair just for me. And this is where I get to lay down anything that's troubling me. And he listens. And he listens so perfectly. And he thinks on it. And the first thing that comes out of his mind and mouth is, "Oh, sweet one, you know why I created you, don't you?" And he proceeds to tell me, "I created you also for you to be able to take on these things. They will lead you to your mission and purpose. You know, when I saw your intelligence, the first thing I thought was, this is wisdom and beauty and gentleness. This intelligence is so rooted in me and in my beautiful wife. This is going to be my daughter. I watched you in the gardens of heaven, sweet one, running to all of your brothers and sisters and telling them what their potential was, reminding them who they were, and filling them with hope and power and strength. If you lean into that, sweet one, these struggles that you are facing will disappear." And he continues to give me perfect teaching, perfect advice for whenever my life feels imperfect. I can remember where perfection is and achieve it. We have the definition of perfection very wrong. We think it's this end-all be-all state, and it's not. Perfection is remembering who you are to God. So when you look at your characteristics and you think to yourself, you know what? I'm a creator. I'm pretty creative. This is something my oldest tells me all the time. I'm really creative, Mom. Yes, you are. Do you know who else is creative? God. You're a chip off the old block. My youngest, he loves to draw. You know what, Mom? I am really good at drawing. Yes, you are. You know who else is a great artist? God. You're just like him. Then I look at myself, and the things I see now are the characteristics of God. I love truth. I love life. I love joy. I love being creative. I love art. I love music. I love seeing my beautiful clients, who are also my brothers and sisters on this earth, finding truth within themselves and realizing that they're royalty. I have compassion, joy, fun. I love to play. I love to explore. I love to collect fabulous things. And the list goes on. This year I'm learning about abundance because God is truly abundant. That's the characteristic I've chosen as my word for this year. And I'm learning that being truly abundant is meaning really understanding your mission and purpose and truly leaning into it. And letting God be so excited at my accomplishments and achievements in His name that He just delights to bless me. And I'm happy to receive those blessings. And I'm learning that this is who God is. This is what He rejoices in. And I'm like Him. So the next time I say I'm a fantastic human, there is no voice in the back of my mind that tries to tell me something different. Because I am learning so much truth that immediately, if there's any voice in the back of my mind trying to tear me down and trying to steal my hope and my joy from me, it is immediately met with truth. And adversarial influences don't like truth at all. They work hard to keep us in that funk, but that is not the place for me. Affirmations versus truth. Truth is far more powerful. So ask yourself, what is it that God believes about me? I'm capable. I am powerful. I am amazing. I'm a fantastic human. Anything I touch turns to something fabulous. Something that is joy-filled, that brings nourishment to the lives of those that are around me and myself. Those might sound like affirmations, but they're truth, because that is exactly what God believes. Okay, my loves. Next week, we are talking about creating your ideal self. This means that there's going to be another beautiful visualization that I want to teach you that is really going to help you gain a new appreciation for who you are and to also sink yourself further into truth. All right, my loves, I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Hey, fabulous listener. I have a question for you. How done with trauma are you? Are you ready to uplevel your life and start creating the dreams that you thought were out of your reach? Are you ready to be free of the choices of other people? Are you ready to start living a life for yourself and creating the dreams that you want? And are you ready to start attracting relationships that show up to support those dreams? Are you also ready to create an amazing and deep love and trust in yourself and your decisions? If this is an absolute yes, then I want to invite you to come and join my 7-day Unashamed Chalk Talk. In this 7-day course, we are going to be going over each one of the 7 pillars for living an unashamed and completely self-trustful life. You will have some very quick, very concise, but powerful assignments to do every day. Plus, you also get access to me live for 7 days. You are going to get to learn how to set the goals that you want to achieve in your life completely unashamed, and also how to figure out what it is that's out of alignment in your life and stopping you from achieving those goals. Then we're going to get into how to get your brain to actually listen to the things that you want and start working on creating them. And also how to give yourself permission to truly love and care for yourself in an amazingly, fabulously fun way. And also how to regain the confidence and love that you deserve to give yourself, despite what anyone else thinks, says, or does about you. Now I can almost hear you say, okay, well that sounds great, but how much does it cost? That is also an exciting part of this. It's only $97. How awesome is that? For only $97, you can start creating the changes you want. There's literally no reason for you to not click on the link in the description below and get started. Come join me today in the Unashamed. Hey guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me today and listening in on this podcasting episode. Don't forget to tune in next week. It's gonna be awesome.